Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I'm chairman of the planning board, and I call this meeting to order for Monday, January 9th at 6:32 p.m. I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas,
Ian,
present.
Ian Ortiz present.
Hi, Ian. So nice to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we still don't have Robert in or Michael.
That's correct.
Okay, Laura Schifrin present. Okay, I will begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We wish to thank all of our veterans and especially our own Ian Santiago for all of his service to our country. I understand that Michael should be with us shortly. This meeting is being recorded. 1.4, Chairman's additions, deletions to agenda unforeseen prior to 48 hours of this meeting. I do not have any. Is that correct?
Correct. And Mr. Therian just arrived.
Okay. Robert, will you announce yourself, please?
Robert Therian.
Okay, has joined us. So we do have 4 on now, and Michael has let me know that he is signing in. Let me just check something. That is not yet. Okay, 1.5, approval of December 12th, 2022 minutes.
Hey, Lori, I'm here.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Okay, so we have all 5 board members on this evening. Thank you very much, everyone. The minutes were sent to all of the board members. I did make some edits to it today, and those were resent to the full board. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of December 12th, 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 12 December 2022.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Any further discussion? All those in favor, I'd like a roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Therian here.
Mike Verosco, yes.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you, everyone. 1.6, review volunteer response forms received for planning board vacancy, which is for our associate member. Beth, have there been any?
No, sorry.
Okay. I'd like to announce that we still do have a vacancy for the alternate member of the planning board, and we welcome any volunteers to offer themselves. 2, public hearings and announcements. Let me see. We are at we're at 6:35, and we have some time to complete some of our meeting business now before the 7 p.m. Appointment that we have. So 3.1, 227 Mason Road site plan review, special permit application, draft decision review. Why don't we take a few minutes on that? Beth, I don't know if you saw my note.
Yes, the header was changed to 227 Mason Road. The decision is basically complete. The exhibits are there and the motions are in the decision.
Can you screen share that? Is it possible? And we can just quickly go through the points.
Okay.
We basically voted it at our last meeting. we voted the approval of it, and now it's just reviewing the decision for us to sign.
Madam Chair, if I may, the board
Okay.
did not act on it at the last meeting.
Oh, because of the 4? Okay, all right. All right. I do.
I please have screen sharing capability. I'm not ready. I think I'm ready.
Nah, keep going. We're doing pretty well.
And do all the board members have to sign that? Or can it be voted for the chair to sign the decision?
We can vote for the chair to sign.
Okay, and we'll have a full board, so.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Okay. First I want to say that in reviewing this is a lot of work on you, Beth, I know, because I know what it is to write all this up. So as we review this, can you scroll down and just go to the highlights? Like the granted, denied would be tonight's date. Date of decision would be tonight's date, wherever you have the highlights there. And then all the exhibits were very detailed. You can go on. If any board members have any questions as we go through this, please speak up. And go to the findings. I know that we did go through all of the mandatory referrals that we received. And basically the applicant was very agreeable to anything that was requested of him. And sections, you can go ahead. Okay, and I see the corrections were made. Okay.
Conditions those were drafted. Basically, those are kind of standard. They can be changed. You know, that's part of the decision that the board would want to write. I took, you know, kind of a stab at it. They're fairly standard, especially D, this condition D, and C. Signage, you know, I mean, A and B. I think B actually doesn't apply, so I apologize.
I was going to say, I don't think he has any signs.
Yeah, that would not be applicable.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if I can delete that right now. Should be able to. I would be able to strike that. Oh, geez, not on much. All right. So do that on strike condition B. It doesn't want to work. Sorry.
Okay. All right. You should be able to do that though. And C would be correct. And D is on every decision. That is a template. Okay. I do want to go back up just a little bit so that it's reiterated. Can you go up just a little bit at the conclusion? And based on the information presented, the board finds that the applicant did satisfy the standards for the issuance of the site plan special permit under the Townsend zoning bylaws, planning board rules and regulations, and Mass General Law as outlined above. Like I said, this is very detailed. I can't say succinct, but detailed, and he did comply. So I know that it was our conclusion that evening that we would grant the permit, but didn't have at least 4 people to vote on it. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to approve this decision as presented, less the section B for the signage that does not apply. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve it with the modifications just discussed.
Okay, and this is for the 227 Mason Road site plan decision. Second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion to approve this site plan decision? Hearing none. I'll take a roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Darian here.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
Mike
Michael?
Verosco, yes.
Thank you. And Laura Schifrin, yes. So congratulations to the applicant. And now, just for the convenience, and since it is appropriate, all the more board members have approved, said yes, so it's a unanimous decision. I'll entertain a motion that the board allow Laura Schifrin as chair to sign the decision.
I make a motion Laura Shipman signs as the chair for the decision.
I second it.
Thank you. Hearing no other discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Darian here.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
Mike Verosco, yes.
And Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you very much. Okay, 3.2, stormwater management permit number 2022-02 for Three Wheeler Road. Beth?
I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay. All right. So the stormwater management permit for Three Wheeler Road at your last meeting was extended and was also modified to reflect the new owner. That was signed by the board and it's been completed, and the final stormwater management permit has been transferred to the new owner for recording, and that's wrapped up. So we'll be getting a copy of that proof of recording from the new owner. And
Okay, so that was just sent to him today. Okay, so thank you. Glad that one is behind us.
Yeah.
3.3 stormwater management permit 2022-01 Campbell Farm subdivision.
So that is, did I lost? I just lost. No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, so the Campbell Farm is the same. Well, it's a little bit of a different situation in that the stormwater management permit was issued in December of 2021, and the decision was transferred to the applicant, but the actual permit wasn't generated until about a few weeks ago. So the board signed that permit. It has been stamped in by the town clerk and transferred to the property owner. The same property owner is currently asking the planning board for a certificate of completion for the stormwater management system that has been constructed on site. And the board has we'll be addressing that at the January 23rd meeting with the engineer in attendance.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I do remember a bit of that at the last meeting. Okay, 3.4, 2022 Planning Board Annual Report. That was emailed to all of us, and I did take a shot at that last night and got my input to Beth today. And we'll have an updated one for the board, right? Oh, no, you did send that. That was sent updated today. With just the things, if you look on the last page, Beth added 4 or 5 items yet to be included. There was like 2 paragraphs that needed to be updated at the end of, not the last paragraph, but the 2 before the last paragraph of her annual report. So we've got a good handle on that, and we should have that for final approval at our meeting on the 23rd.
Would you
Right.
like that on screen, or?
You can put them on screen so they can see the last, yeah.
Revision? Okay.
Yeah.
How did I offer that? Where is it? 3.4. Thank you. Sorry, got too much going on here. Okay.
So we still have the vacancy there. We actually had, when Ian went from our associate member to a full seat, the associate member stayed vacant for this past year. But I really do appreciate all the members of the board and how they have participated this year. We've had to do a lot via Zoom, and we've had a number of public hearings. So we've done a lot. I don't know what, but a bit easier this. Okay, so I see that underscore in the blue there, ended in late 2022. So that's got to be corrected there. That's my mistake.
Okay, so where was that? I'm sorry.
If you just scroll down, it's the last sentence actually at the bottom on the screen. Now it's a little bit up, but it's 1, 2, 3, the 4th sentence up. You can see that little underscore there. It's a bit easier.
Okay.
But yes. Okay, I left out.
Right. Yeah, so the things that I noted were
yeah, right there, right. And then what's at the end needs to be included in that same sentence where you added that's in the blue.
Yeah, I didn't know if any one of the members wanted to take a crack at writing it up a little more about the master plan and the goals of the board. So, I mean, I'll leave that up to you. As far as the MBTA communities work, I don't know if there's another board member that wants to do that, or if you want me to continue working on the draft, I'm happy to do that too.
Yeah, just in that sentence, I wanted it mentioned that, of course, that we finally delivered it, had it approved, the master plan, last year. But I thought I put in, we'll continue making updates to the section, to whatever section. You can reword that a bit, but annually versus waiting. And I didn't want to put versus waiting 5, 10, or 15 years, before we have another plan again, but actually addressing it more frequently would be better. Of course, adhering to it is another matter. So,
yeah,
I really didn't want to expound on it. It was a very arduous process for more than 3 years. And so hopefully that we don't have to go through that again.
Okay, so simpler is better. Just the statement.
Simpler is better, I think. Yeah, it's quite enough. People don't really like reading long books, and most people prefer bullets. So,
Okay.
in these reports. So I don't think that anything more lengthy than that is necessary, but that it was finally approved. We talked about it for 3 years in the annual report. So, so again, this is in the portal. So any of the board members can take a look and think, if you think something else should be added, that'll be great. But I've had my shot at it. And
What are you looking for at those? What things there?
Well, those are things that the board worked on. Remember the filing fees work that you did?
yeah,
So we could go over that if you want. I could make a statement about that. Because the annual report sometimes will include some of the things that the board has worked
done that
on
here. Yeah.
An ongoing thing, the regulations work, so we can maybe a sentence in there about the
Was that
regulations.
one a review of the regulations? Is that what that is?
Yeah, and then you did the review of the filing fees and the assessment.
And where we made recommendations for the fee?
Yep, which were implemented. So, I mean, maybe a sentence in there about those two things in one sentence. So it's
Okay. Yeah, I can make a sentence for those filing fee work. Okay. Now, let me think about the regulations, I guess.
Oh, right, because you did that. You and Robert did it.
Yeah, Robert and I did the
Right.
filing. So, okay.
Yeah. Please.
and then
I'll do that. I'll make a sentence or two.
and the other two items, the MBTA communities work and the zoning table of uses were kind of something that the land use coordinator who moved on worked with the board on. So I don't know if you want to include a sentence.
Well, I think that's a big topic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information coming out and a lot of, I've been forwarding some of that to you to be shared with other board members. So the roles that what I'm seeing is that in the articles I've been coming across, the local communities can take a variety of approaches for this. And it's something that requires some pretty intense concentration because it reflects not only current zoning, but it reflects the community's physical capabilities of delivering a lot of the requirements. And so the planning board's got to look at this not just in terms of trying to do something in this group, but what realistically can be achieved by the town of Townsend, and what participating in this, how things can be impacted. And there's a lot to discuss, and it may even require a survey from the community on some of these topics. I don't want this board to rush in haste on this. There's so many peripheral topics that we have to plan on and for. And for example, this community doesn't have a public transportation system. And we're already having difficulties with water supply and then coming up with a proposal that will be community responsive, so that we're not, these projects aren't so specific for one particular type of unit family profile. And so that means, what are the needs of our town in terms of family profiles? And then the impact that it would have on our current villages, in terms of density, in terms of, the loss of sense of community, a village community. So those are social aspects that have to be thought of. It's going to be, all of these things. There's no right answer for. There's always a trade-off. And to find out and to explore everything we think and possibly think of and come up with a recommendation, and so be able to document and support why we came there.
Yeah.
So I think I would like to be involved with that specifically, with any other welcome board members. And I think there's got to be an invitation to other boards, so that it's not just focused from a planning board's perspective. Anyway, those are my comments.
Great. All
And
right.
so item 1 relates to item 2.
Yes, it does.
Okay, thank you very much, Robert, for that input. And we are now at 6:58. I don't think we can do any more under the meeting business. That is only going to take a minute. So, let's see. Carol, do you have an update to Safe Routes for Schools 4.3?
I got an email today from Safe Routes to School about some walk program in February that we could get credit for. So I sent Emmy Bopp an email today and asked her if this is something she could do with her, because I know she walks kids and she does that. So I'll see if I get an answer back from Emmy.
Hey, good. So we are just about at 7 o'clock, which is our appointment for the A&R application on Bayberry Hill Road for 3 lots. We are at 7 o'clock. So you all have that information. I don't know if you want to, Beth, do some screen sharing on that. But who do we have here representing this plan?
Would you like to introduce yourself? And you can come right up here if you like. It's up to you, or pull up a chair. That's the speaker, so thank you.
Yes, my name is Gregory Wilson. I'm the surveyor for WK Realty, who owns 14 acres on Bayberry Hill Road, and they would like to subdivide this land into 3 lots. So I created a plan that shows 3 lots. Lot 1 has 200 feet of frontage and 2 acres. Lot 2 has 242.78 feet and 6.57 acres. And Lot 3 has 200 feet of frontage with 5.33 acres.
Okay. Well, they all meet the requirements. And according to the procedures for A&R application that Beth has provided to us, There is nothing that stands out to be missing. It was reviewed by the building commissioner, the principal assessor, and Beth as our planning board administrator. Does the board have any questions? I don't see anything out of the ordinary or that's missing. I made the mistake of hitting print and got the full package
Oh,
in front of me. So, again, this is a approval not required. The lots all meet our zoning and bylaws. And I'll entertain any questions from the board. Hearing none.
I think that's the only way it can be done.
Again, it's approval not required, and they are meeting all of our requirements. Okay, if there is no further discussion, I can entertain a motion to approve the request and the plan.
Madam Chair, may I just make a comment on the prior to vote?
You sure may.
Whoever votes on this will have to sign it in person. So, so I just want to be sure.
All right. So, I know.
How's this gonna work for me?
Okay, it's not. At this point in time, at this point, I wish it could. You can come home. But no. Okay, so just a majority vote?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And Michael, I'm going to give you the option. If there's at least 3 that have to sign the document, and if you vote, you sign. So I'll take a roll call vote.
I don't think you got the motion yet, did she? So, I think she needs the motion.
She needs a motion, right?
She needs a motion.
Yeah.
Approve
I make a motion, we take a roll call vote.
Oh, on the approval of the A&R plan.
On the approval of the A&R plan.
66 Bayberry Hill Road.
Right.
Okay, is there a second?
second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call vote.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Robert Therrien here.
Laura Schifrin, yes.
Mike Verosco, yes.
Okay, and Ian is abstaining. Is that correct, Ian?
Yes, I sustain.
Okay. Okay, so you've got that motion is approved and you have 4 people who voted in the affirmative. So those 4 people will be by to sign. Just let us know.
Okay.
Okay, Beth?
Yeah. So the 2 members will sign tonight. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. So now our public hearing is at 7:30. We have some time to complete our business. 3.5 fiscal year 24 planning board budget and worksheet. I didn't print that off. Was that in the portal?
Yes. And that was done by the previous land use coordinator. He did a draft of the budget. So it's up to the board if you want to review it or if you want to comment on it, but I'm not going to screen share it if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I'm going to get through that.
Okay.
I
I know that they're looking for, the finance committee will be looking for feedback from us. They are heavy into meetings in the next couple of months. So if that's in the portal, we'll take a review and we'll just move it to our next agenda on the 23rd? Or do you want to push it to February?
I think the town administrator is looking for a comment like today was the deadline. If you read the letter from the town administrator.
I did not.
I just looked at the spreadsheet. I didn't.
Look at the spreadsheet, yeah.
Spreadsheet. I
So if you
didn't.
have any comments, it's again, the land use coordinator did a draft up for the budget, and it's a level budget other than wages. I think it's that's all covered by clerical contract.
Mhm. So, do you have, Beth, as staff, do you have any comments on the budget? Do you see where it should be something else?
I think it's fine. Yeah, I think absolutely perfect. Level funded.
Okay. I can't argue with that then.
Yeah, it's working fine.
If the other board members are fine, I don't think there's going to be much we can do anyway.
Yeah.
What's your pleasure? Just to tell him that level funded is okay?
Yeah, the draft budget is acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they can work with that.
Okay. I don't need a vote, do I, from the board?
No,
Just as a consensus of opinion.
any comments or yeah, input.
All right. So then that's off the agenda. Planning board regulations review. I think that could be a little heavy, and I'd rather finish the rest of the agenda or try to before the 7:30 public hearing. So move 3.6 to not the 23rd, because the 23rd is full. We have a lot going on that one. So if you'll just move that to the following month. 3.7, the DLT opportunities and timeline. We had a little bit of discussion on this, and can we try to get Karen Chapman at a meeting? Well, what is the next deadline?
Yeah, I was just gonna pull that up and find out what the deadline is. One moment.
Because we really want to I mean, I know they can only they try to only give us one per community for a grant. But there's so many departments that need assistance for various things. And we certainly could use the help in our multi-use zoning. And the DLT grant can be used for that. So when is the next deadline, and can we ask Karen to come and speak with us?
Okay, just a moment. I'm gonna pull it up for you. All right.
Or Beth, does that even come through us, or does it have to go through the town administrator?
Can
it be department?
What happens is if the board will write up a proposal and have it approved by the Board of Selectmen. And I see that our liaison has joined. Welcome. And maybe he could help us with this. I'm not sure. Did the board members get a chance to review the GLTA material?
No, I don't think I did.
So eligible project and activities that you can see on the board,
Right.
MBTA communities.
Right,
To
which
your
we
point,
need.
yeah, to your point was providing technical assistance for some of the things that Mr. Therian was talking about. So the deadline is passed. Okay, so no.
12th, January 12th.
Well, proposals due by
Oh,
February 7th.
February 7th and March 7th.
Right, okay.
Council's
Got it.
issuance dates. I don't get that. I don't understand it. I should, but I don't.
That's the date that I guess the RFP was released, would be my guess. But here's a thought, maybe a board member might write up some of the ideas, you know, that you have for surveys and studies that you think would be useful for the town in the MBTA communities
And
compliance.
getting the grant.
And then we would, you know, I can help, we can draft a letter, and put it on the next agenda for the Board of Selectmen's meeting. And, that's just a thought. I would defer that to one of the board members who has an idea of what it is we need.
Yeah.
You know, put together some surveys or some,
Well,
I'll participate in that.
yeah, so maybe that would be
So
another work session, maybe.
who's going to actually write the application?
The application is very simple. Basically, we would apply with a letter to NRPC that would ask for a project activity under MBTA communities. It doesn't have to be very detailed. It just means that
A list of goals and objectives?
yeah, very simple, something like that. And then, you know, some sort of bulletized idea of what the board is looking for in specifically in the technical part.
I can,
Okay, that would be great, because that way, you know, I think, you know, we can get moving. You can be, you know, it's surveys, mapping, information on septic, water. Those are the kinds of things that they have GIS mapping capabilities and survey capabilities and public outreach, that kind of thing.
so the grant would provide technical resources.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do we need?
Yeah.
Okay.
to obtain the goals that you mentioned.
It does have a value to it too?
The MRPC will draw up a memorandum of agreement, and that will have their dollar value on what they put on what they agree to do in the scope.
Okay.
So that's and it will be at no cost to the town as and if you read through the DLTA overview, it explains a little bit more.
Can you forward this to my email so I?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll certainly
Yeah.
get into that on my call, Carol.
okay. If you don't mind, Chaz is our liaison from the Board of Selectmen. And Chaz, can you chime in here? We have a few minutes before our public hearing. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Sure can.
Okay. Sorry. I see Ian shaking his head. We did discuss this in the last BOS meeting, and I kind of chimed in for a couple of projects for planning and a couple of other boards. My thought was MBTA communities, and I also chimed in regards to the planning board's MVP plan for to start with some sort of, we did, when I was on the board, we did try to start with new projects and we got turned down, and I think we should continue on moving forward. My understanding, Beth, is there's two, we can do two separate things with it. I know that the selectmen wanted to look at one for sidewalks for the harbor project that's going on. And the other one would be something that I think if we found something that collaboratively all of us can work on together, I think the MBTA communities would kind of dovetail into the planning board, the housing authority, the board of selectmen, yada yada. I think that is something that we all should discuss. So I would suggest, yes, Robert, if you could put something together, and Beth, try to get on the next board of selectmen's meeting. That way we can nail down what we need to do, and then whatever help that I can do to help you guys out with that, I'll be more than glad to do that.
What is the timeline again? It's the next Board of Selectmen's meeting?
Yep. And when is that?
That would be on the 17th.
Okay, yeah, that's still well within the timeline.
Yeah. And I think what we were trying to do is to get the other interest and then submit something by that time too. But again, to reiterate what Beth said, we just really need to send in right now a letter of interest. We don't really need to go too in depth in what we're looking for. And then we do have some time to put together a more structured proposal.
Okay. So as far as the Board of Selectmen's meeting, what specifically do you think we have to do?
I would just say that you're interested in applying for DLTA, the DLTA grant. This is what the planning board is suggesting, and go over exactly what you're,
Okay.
just a general,
Yeah.
just an overview of what you guys want to do. And then we'll all, I think if we do it all together, we have a better chance. I'll also throw out too, that these grants, are also, if there's any project that's a regional project too, they tend to look at these much more closely if we're looking to work with another community besides just Townsend.
Okay, that's good.
That's good. Do you have a recommendation for another small adjacent MBTA community?
Well, my thought was, you got what, Shirley and Air.
Okay, great.
Any other comments?
What about Groton?
I don't think they are they? Are they MBTA?
I think they are.
Oh, they are? Couple's not, that's right. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd have to look on the website to see
Yeah, I don't
if Groton.
I think Groton is as well. Yeah. Okay.
Harvard is, but I don't remember a Groton participant at the meetings. Okay, well, thank you, Chaz, for
Yep.
the input, and thank you, Robert, for volunteering. So that is the DLTA discussion.
This is January 17th.
Okay, we have a
January 17th for the Board of Selectmen.
19th, he said. I thought.
17th, Tuesday.
17th.
Tuesday, got it.
17.
You cut me 2 days short. Thanks. All right, Chad.
Okay, I've got about 10 minutes left. If we can get through number 4, 4.1 stormwater management permit project updates, inspection reports, other related correspondence. Beth?
Let me share another thing here. Okay. Where are you at? I'm sorry, what number?
4.1 stormwater management permit. The project updates.
I'm gonna just go to this one. Am I still screen sharing? No. Okay, I don't know if board members had a chance to review the letter on the screen.
Yeah.
And if you have any comments or questions.
No, you were just asking for input.
It's a request for, if you read the letter, it's
Yeah.
asking. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So if you read the letter, it's basically a request of the planning board as stormwater authority for major projects because it's unclear in the regulations. So it's a clarification.
So this would go to the land use office.
It's presently land use office, but what this is asking for is if Matt, the administrative assistant, can also basically work on behalf of the stormwater authority, as just as it says, related to stormwater management and permit compliance and enforcement. So
Right.
it's not explicitly named right now. And this document, we're looking to actually have it named and on file. Should there be any questions out in the field?
Okay, I'm going to ask if Chaz will chime in here, because you're asking that the planning board, who's the stormwater authority, give authority to someone other in a position that works for the town to enforce it. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, which is basically what's been done now. That's what's being done in the field by the stormwater agent, by staff. So.
Because it was Michael, but Michael's not there. It was the land use coordinator.
Well, no, it's actually been, I've been doing it. So I've been doing site visits, as has Jessica, and she's a stormwater agent, but so it's actually allowing us as staff to make site visits and enforce conditions, compliance and enforcement. Is that clear?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to.
Well,
Chaz.
I guess I'm not really clear what's being asked, Beth. Is that you guys, that the three of you are going to continue on doing what you've been doing?
Right. That's what we've been doing in the field and in correspondence with the permit holders.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's a planning board thing, Lori, that you guys decide that just to have them continue on doing what they're doing as opposed to relying on the land use coordinator. So it's the planning board that's in charge of this.
Right.
So they're looking for your permission to continue on doing what they're doing because the land use coordinator is not there anymore.
Okay. So basically, we're okay with them all working together as long as they all know what they're doing, right?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
I would not be the one who would be able to tell if they know what they're doing or not. So,
Once the land use coordinator position is filled,
yeah,
we will also add the land use coordinator to this. But it would be all staff in the land use office would be authorized to make site visits, check on compliance, inspections, and follow up with permit holders.
okay.
Yeah, this is really a formality.
Yes.
So, but wait a minute. I believe, I think that this should be by position and not by name. So
That I agree with.
This shouldn't have to be done again or process. This should be done by position. So the planning board can grant permission to the planning board administrator, the stormwater and conservation agent, the admin assistant to the conservation, and land use coordinator to conduct the inspections and the enforcement. Okay, it's by position, it's not by name.
Good point, Laura.
I mean, the name of the people may change.
Hmm.
But they're all in the land use office.
Yeah,
And it's part of their charge in their position to do these tasks. Okay, and that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I was having trouble with the protocol. Okay, now I understand it, and you can do it by position.
Yes.
Planning board's in charge, and planning board says the people in these positions will carry out these tasks.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can revise the letter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Would you
Right.
like to want me to revise it before you approve it, or?
I can, the board can have the chair review per our discussion and consensus. This doesn't require a vote. It's a policy of the planning board.
I would say a vote would probably be appropriate for this. No, it would probably be better.
Well, the vote would be on the policy.
But the vote is on the policy that planning board, as the stormwater oversight, gives authority to the individuals in those 4 positions to carry out inspections and enforcement of stormwater policies or the stormwater bylaw. That's how it should be written. And if you want to vote, I'll entertain a vote to what I just stated, which hopefully was clear enough.
Yeah, I make a motion that we proceed the way Laura presented this.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a roll call vote.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Therian here.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. There's no signing needed, so Ian voted, right?
Right, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay.
Michael? I don't know if Michael's still on. Maybe not.
I think Michael is.
Okay. All right. And Laura Schifrin, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we are at 7:29. Let me get my stuff ready for 7:30. I would like to open the public hearing at 7:30, January 9th, 2023, for 25 Harbor Trace Road. I'd like an introduction of the board members present.
Robert Therian present.
Carol Hofstas present.
Ian Ortiz present.
Laura Schifrin present. Okay. There is a public sign-in sheet in the Board of Selectmen's office there. And so those who are in attendance, if you will please sign that, and others online. Chaz, starting with you, can you announce your attendance, please?
Chad Sexton Duranian, 8 South Street.
Everyone who's on, if you'll please announce. Mary Danielson.
Mary Danielson. I'm here with Ty and Bond representing this project.
Okay. Louis Sirocco.
Yep, Louis Sirocco, also with Time Bond on behalf of the Water Department.
Okay, Haley Rivers.
This is Haley Rivers. I am also here with Ty and Bond on behalf of the Water Department.
Okay. Beth and Timothy Grace.
Yep, Timothy Grace. I'm here with Ty and Bond as well.
Okay. Helen and Ken Magliozzi.
Yes, we are residents of Cooperage Way.
Okay. Carol, identify yourself, please.
Yes, hi. I'm Christine Carroll. I'm also a resident of Cooperage Way.
Okay. And is that everyone?
Dave Vizon, Superintendent for the Water Department.
Oh, yes, Dave, thank you. Okay, and I think that is everyone. Okay. All right. Let me read the legal notice. In accordance with Townsend General Law, Bylaw, Chapter 85, NPDES Phase 2, Stormwater Management, and Chapter 175, Article 5, Stormwater Regulations, the Planning Board will hold a hybrid public hearing on Monday, January 9th, 2023 at 7:30 p.m. at Memorial Hall, 272 Main Street, and via Zoom webcast at the following link, which I will not read, to review an application received from Townsend Water Department requesting a stormwater management permit for construction of a 10,500 square foot water treatment plant and water main improvements located at 25 Harbor Trace Road, Assessor's Map 33, Block 79, Lot 18, and Map 33, Block 79, Lot 1, zoned RA3 and in the Aquifer Protection Overlay District. The applicant is proposing 91,500 square feet of land disturbance with approximately 5,500 cubic yards of fill. The land disturbance proposed is above the threshold requiring a major stormwater management permit. The application is available for review at the offices of the Planning Board and Town Clerk at 272 Main Street during regular business hours. Parties wishing to speak in favor of or in opposition to this proposal may do so in writing prior to the hearing or may appear at the hearing in person or represented by an agent or attorney. Interested parties are encouraged to attend. Digital copies of the application are available by emailing Beth Faxon. Respectfully submitted, Laura Schifrin, Chairman. It was published in the Sentinel December 21st and December 28th, 2022. All departments were copied. Okay, so the applicant is now welcome to present their proposal. David, is that going to be you or who will it be?
That's going to be someone from Ty and Bond.
Okay, and who will that be?
I believe it's Haley.
I can definitely present it.
Okay.
So we're presenting this project to create or to construct a water treatment plant. The purpose of the project is to address significant deficiencies in the water department drinking water supply infrastructure. The proposed project does involve the construction of a water treatment plant, but it is intended to provide PFAS treatment for raw water from both the Harbor Trace well and the Witchbrook wells, as these wells have had historically high concentrations of PFAS. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the proposal succinctly. Any questions from board members? Hearing none. Does this, Beth, to you, does this require a site walk, a site visit?
At the discretion of the board, do you guys want to have a site visit? I can schedule that.
Do we have any of the presentation material?
Yeah, like the plans.
I'm not going to screen share.
Oh.
I know.
Okay. You have quite a bit. So this application is just for purposes of redistributing soil and changing the topography. Am I correct?
The application here has to do with the stormwater systems that we're installing as part of the project because of the site building. Haley, I don't know if you want to elaborate any more on what exactly we're proposing there, but yeah, there will be some, there's an existing well house on this site, but we're going to be clearing some additional area for the new building and then installing associated stormwater retention systems.
All right, so again, I think we're waiting to hear of why you're recommending what you did. Was there a specific, we know what the purpose was, but the design that's been provided by these engineered drawings tell us more about in detail about how this management's going to be done.
Beth, can you just, or I guess Laura, someone confirm what made it into the packets for tonight? We can certainly share materials, I guess, via the Zoom, but I just want to make sure we're sharing something you've already seen or had distributed.
Well, we have a site plan that were submitted with the application. Haley, do you want to screen share the plans, or we have the full stormwater report?
I can definitely screen share the plans.
You want to go to the actual stormwater infrastructure sheet and talk about what your proposal is in terms of managing stormwater runoff?
Sure.
Over the system design.
Yeah. Why don't I screen share and
Yeah, Haley, I'm sorry, I don't have my computer with me. Can you screen share and I'll walk us through the system real quick? I'm having connection issues with the office at the moment.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
That would be perfect. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So a portion of the site, as you can see, is located within the Zone 1. So that gives us the requirement for increased treatment and pre-treatment standards before we can discharge stormwater. So essentially, it's a pretty simple system. It's a series of 4 bays that basically collect, infiltrate, and detain the runoff with the associated impervious pavement. And then it outlets to a bioretention basin that's been planted with native and adaptive vegetation. And
how are those
connected? Sorry, I'm having connection issues, folks.
I don't see how they're connected. I mean, do you see that, Robert?
Mm-hmm.
Is there an inlet pipe?
Haley, can you go to the next sheet, the grading
Yes.
and drainage plan? And I apologize again. I'm on my phone, so I'm trying to. do this that's a better sheet. Okay. So the basins that are closest to the water treatment plant and the parking lot are essentially sediment forebays. And so they take water in through sheet flow and infiltrate a portion of it, but it basically captures all of the fines and the sediments that are usually associated with runoff. And so in this scheme, the water flows from the parking lot into that first bioretention basin that you see basically between the building. Yes, you're right in that area. Yep, right in there. And so that's basically the first point where the stormwater enters, and then it's going to fill that basin up. And then when that basin overflows, it goes into the second basin just north of that. And so that's the second sediment forebay. And the reason we have two, like I said earlier, is because of the pretreatment requirements, because of our proximity to the well. And then from that point, stormwater overflows again. And after going through two sedimentation basins, it's essentially clean water at that point, and it flows into the bioretention basin, and that's really where the majority of it's going to infiltrate. And that area is planted with native vegetation to help with the uptake of water and to remediate any contaminants that may be left in it. And that's basically it. It's a pretty straightforward stormwater system. It's not your typical catch basin, drain manhole type system. It's a more environmentally friendly, low impact design.
Thank you for that, Timothy. That's good to know. And we would like you to know that we have Graves Engineering, Inc. has been contracted as a consultant by the Planning Board to conduct a technical peer review of the storm water management application and documents. Hopefully, we do expect to have that a few days before our next meeting, which is January 23rd. And we just got that information today. So we're moving along on it anyway. If there's no other questions right now, we do have some mandatory referral comments, and I would like to read those into the record. Conservation Commission. Follow NHESP recommendations attached, which is natural heritage and endangered species. So I'm going to think you're going to be getting a copy of that. There was a whole few pages from Fish and Wildlife. Highway Department had no comment. I think it was some of these were not circled, and I can't. Is James Smith Highway? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I have no comment relative to the stormwater management portion of this project, but want to make all aware that a septic permit must be issued for proposed subsurface. I want to say that's from Rick.
That's the Board of Health.
Yeah, that's Board of Health. Okay, so what I just read for you is from Rick Medcalf on the Board of Health. So you understand that about the septic.
Yep, we actually are submitting plans to him this week as well.
So and hopefully, because I do have a note that we haven't received referrals from everyone yet. So I'll give you that list of who we are still expecting to see. The selectmen are entrusting the planning board with their decision. And let's see if we can find. I don't know. Somehow I have the signature page of the highway department, but not here. It is. Yes. Okay. He didn't have any comments. That's fine. No comment from the highway department. Okay, then Board of Health. And then we'll leave the Board of Selectmen. So having said that,
I did check in with the building commissioner today and he has no comments. Okay.
okay, because that was on my list. So, yeah, fire department, police department, and building commissioner. So the building commissioner has no comment. And if you could just remind the other two, fire probably, before our next meeting, Beth, that would be great. Do the public have any comments or questions for the applicant? Because we do have some neighbors who live there, I guess, are here this evening. If you have any questions, now would be the time to ask.
Madam Chair, I have a point of order.
Oh, yes.
I have, there is a person on here, last name is Young. They do have their hand raised, but they do need to
Oh, who are they?
let the board know who they are.
Okay, so as I went through the attendance prior when the meeting started, Young was not there.
No, so that's Sabrina and Jonathan Young. We're on Cooperage Way. We had trouble getting in right away, so.
Okay, understood.
Okay, we're just slightly confused as to, can we get a copy of this plan? Where do we get a copy?
At town hall.
Email me. Yeah, it's right in the legal notice. Send an
Who's,
email.
For Laura?
No, for Beth Faxon.
Okay.
Her email is in the legal notice. It's bfaxon at townsend.maa.gov.
Yes. Now, where is the old building on this plan? Is it still staying up or?
That's a question for the engineers.
Yeah, the existing building will remain on site. It's a ways sort of up the roadway a little bit more. It's a much smaller building set back on the site.
Right, but so how far away is this from that building that's currently there?
So Haley.
Everyone talk at once. Sorry.
I was going to say, Haley, there's a plan. If you zoom back or go back maybe 2 or 3 sheets, I think there's an overall site plan in there that might be helpful. There you go. There you go.
Oh,
well, that doesn't show the new building, but it shows the existing, and we can point out. So that's the pump house over to the right there, the existing building. Mm-hmm. And our new water treatment plant, Haley, if you had left, is right in that vicinity right there. So it's basically at the halfway point between where the existing pump station is and the cul-de-sac at Harbor Trace.
So the area that you're circling is a very large area, which I understand because our land abuts that because we've been having a bunch of people, whatever, it abuts that. So we're just not sure where is like the actual water treatment facility going and how big is it going to be and where is it going to be?
Yeah. So if you, Haley, if you go maybe 2 more sheets forward, sorry. So that's it right there. That's essentially the footprint that it's going to occupy. And so that property line that's, I guess, on the page left, that's the property line that probably abuts your residence, I'd assume.
Okay. And then how much of this is the water department?
Well, 100% of it, right, Dave? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a 100% water department facility.
Right. It's 100% water department facility.
Okay. So how much is it like broken down water department facility versus treatment plant? Because we've been told that you guys are moving the water department there, which I understand is a small department. But I feel like we should know what's for what, because the building just seems rather large and close. And very
it does look large, and that's because the majority of that facility is filled with process equipment. So I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers at the tip of my fingers here, but it's roughly a 10,000 square foot building. And of that, we're talking about 4,000 square feet of that is office space. So less than half is actually for people. The rest of it is essentially a garage and then process equipment.
Okay, so for example, at the top of the page that you're looking at right now, the 5 lines, because I can't see exactly what that is from here. Yes.
Yep.
Is that all underground? Is that?
Yes. Yes. So that's the leach field for the septic system.
Okay. And
then the basins to the right that we were just talking about,
yes,
those are above grade basins, but those are bioretention, so they're landscaped. So when that landscaping fills in, it doesn't really look like anything. And a lot of times you don't even see the depression in the ground anymore.
Right. Because now so we have a catch basin between Harbor Trace and Cooperage Way. Is that going to flow into this as well?
No, basically everything you see there is just to mitigate the impacts of the impervious that our project is creating. So the mass standards say that whenever you build a facility like this, you need to mitigate all of the runoff. So for us to get approval from the Stormwater Board, we have to prove to them that the amount of water that's leaving the site is less after the project is built as opposed to before it's built. And that's a state regulation. That's not even a town regulation.
Okay, and then how tall is this building?
Lou or Mary, I'm going to ask for a lifeline on that one.
Sure. I can help out on that one. So the building, it's not all uniform height. So what we did was, based on its use, we've minimized the height. So the portion to the far right, page right, is where you're going to have the tall filters. That's going to be the tallest part of the building. And as you work your way left, the roof line drops down dramatically for the parking garage in the middle, and then quite a lot further for the office admin on the far left, closest to the entrance from Harbor Trace. So
okay, I'm going to have to stop this now because we're going off topic of the stormwater management. Okay, this is not design, it's not zoning, it's not anything like that. Okay, only related to stormwater, please.
I will say there's a meeting tomorrow.
Messages regarding this.
All right, then for the leaching field, what kind of, it looks rather large. What it kind of smells or any kind of impact can we expect? Because that's our backyard.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have anything. So the leach field is actually a separate thing altogether. That falls under Title V. So that's the state sanitary code.
Okay.
So one of the comments earlier that the board made was that the health department raised the question that they need to approve this project. So that's actually a separate piece, and that goes off this week to them.
Oh, this week is when it is. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
And so later this week, the plans will probably be available at the Board of Health, because this is all a matter of public record. So you could go down there and get a copy of everything.
Right. Okay.
All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions or concerns regarding the stormwater management?
I just have a quick question. If there are other questions not related. Oh, sorry. This is Christine Carroll on Cooperage. I just want to make sure I'm asking appropriate questions in the appropriate spot. So towards the end, will there be like an opportunity for open questions if like what your specific question isn't addressed at a certain time?
Yes, I have another, well, my next section here, and I have to go by a guideline, is for those in support of the proposal and those that are against the proposal.
Okay, but would there be a spot for just other questions that maybe don't fall into a particular topic?
It depends on what it is, Ms. Carroll.
Okay.
What is the question in reference to?
The streets.
The streets?
Yeah, so like, for example, there has been conversation about turning Harbor Trace over to the town as part of this project. And I wanted a little more information on that and also how it relates possibly to Cooperage. But every time we ask these questions, it's not the correct forum. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best forum or who are the best people for those types of questions.
Can I answer this one?
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow is the meeting that's presented to the town at 7:00. But in a nutshell, for the water department, because we're digging up the road on Harbor Trace, is taking over Harbor Trace Road and will pave it to completion. We cannot touch Cooperage because it's outside the work.
So, but Cooperage will not be turned over to the town. It will remain private.
I can't answer that one, but there's going to be a vote in April.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Chaz, as a Board of Selectmen, I mean, my immediate thought was Highway Department, but maybe that is incorrect. And is this being addressed at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, or is it on a warrant?
As far as that is concerned, today's meeting is really for stormwater management. Those questions really should be brought to the meeting that we have tomorrow at 7:00. I believe that we will have an open comment period on that. To really, I mean, part of the reason why we wanted to have tomorrow's meeting with the Board of Selectmen is really to open it up to the townspeople. So they can ask that question, and we'll have the right people there to be able to answer those questions.
Okay, so this is on the Board of Selectmen's agenda with the Water Department tomorrow?
Correct, 7:00 in Memorial Hall.
Okay. Is that via Zoom as well, or just in person?
The Board of Selectmen chair decided not to Zoom it for technical reasons, I guess. Mm-hmm. But it will be broadcast on Channel 9.
Okay.
I'm sorry. This is Sabrina Young again. We were told it would be available via Zoom. I know myself personally, I'm immune compromised and I cannot sit in a room like that. So that's why I was under the understanding it was going to be on a Zoom. Again, not trying to take up your agenda, but if we're being told, we're getting the runaround is basically what the problem is here. One department saying one thing, one saying another, and that we're told to go all these places for questions and no one's answering anything and everything's just getting swept through and approved.
Okay.
Can you call me tomorrow at my office?
Dave? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I'll answer any question you want.
Okay.
Thank you. But before you speak, just identify yourself and please go through the chair.
Sorry.
I did identify myself.
Oh.
You did.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that, if you didn't hear me. But I will contact Dave tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Does anybody else have any comments regarding the stormwater management, either in support or against this proposal? Hearing none. I'd like a motion to continue this public hearing to January 23rd at 6:45 p.m.
I'll make a motion to continue this hearing to January 23rd at 6:45 p.m.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Ian. Any further discussion?
Aye.
We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Why? Why are we postponing it?
Because we're waiting for the stormwater peer review. I did announce that before.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay.
And he let us know today he hopes to have it a few days before the 23rd. So we can continue to the 23rd at 6:45 p.m.
Okay.
I'll take a roll call vote, please.
Carol Hofstas, yes.
Robert Darian here.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
Laura Schifrin, yes. Thank you all very much. We have continued the hearing.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question about the site visit? Can the board let me know whether you want me to schedule one or not?
That's up to the board. Does the board feel it necessary to have a site visit?
Honestly, this is such an immense area. A site visit here. I don't know it's going to be that productive because to be able to envision everything in that large a piece of property would be challenging.
Understood.
I'm just like, I don't know. It's like when we look at some of these large acreage, it's hard to put everything in perspective. And then there's still a lot of vegetation existing. So it doesn't really help unless there's some very dramatic topography that's visually apparent, so that's been my response to some of these. On the smaller projects, it's much easier to do. Right. On these, I think we have to rely on the people that are doing all the engineering for them.
Right, and the peer review. So
Sure.
We should have that for the next meeting. If as soon as we get that report, certainly if any, we can talk about this if there's a couple of members that want to go out and take a look before our next meeting, before the 23rd. Okay? All right. Moving on in our agenda. Oh, okay. We did 4.1. Okay, our next thing would be 4.2 on notices from Townsend and other towns. Beth or Robert?
Want to review those? They're in the file.
Okay. Is there anything that you feel should be brought to the public part of the meeting?
I'll pull them up real quick.
Honestly, I didn't have an opportunity to look at them.
Okay. Well, there's one posted from Townsend, that's pretty important. So that's at the January 23rd meeting. It is the planning board will review the site. It is a site plan review special permit and a stormwater management permit application received for 5 Turnpike Road, and that is Country Estates. It is a paving, it's repaving of an existing parking area and modifying the area to create 26 new parking spaces. Would the board like a site visit for that one? Okay, fantastic. What works for you? Time and date.
What days?
Yeah. It gets dark early now, so I'm okay with the Saturday, but I'm not that excited about it.
How soon do we have to do this?
Well, the public hearing is January 23rd. So that's 2 weeks from today.
The week of the 15th, I'm pretty open.
Okay, yeah. I can do.
So, okay.
Week of the 15th.
Yeah. Wednesdays, except the 18th is probably not a good day for me, but any other day.
So Martin, the 16th is a holiday. So what day did you say the 18th was good?
No, I said the 18th isn't good.
I'm sorry.
I can't do the 18th, but I can do,
No, wait a minute. That was not too.
Is this for 5 Turnpike Road?
Yes, a site visit by the planning board.
Okay, so it's probably best that it just be you, Robert, and Carol, because Michael and I are still do have some ownership there.
Maybe.
Even though, and he's actually still a trustee. So, I mean, we can be informative, but I think it would be best if you just saw it without any influence.
Okay.
Well, we got the weekend.
You don't want to make that for a weekend.
Okay. So I would guess the 17th.
Yes. 17th.
Oh, that's the Board of Selectmen's meeting too.
Yeah.
So the night we could do it before. I don't know how early you could.
I could and I can do
Anytime.
I can do anytime.
So Robert, we'll need to know when you can come back in
Like this week or?
on the 17th. Like if you wanted to do it, like what's the earliest you think would work?
I would say 10 o'clock.
Oh, 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
For a site meeting?
For some visit? Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, January 17th
At 10 a.m.
at 10 a.m. Perfect.
They changed the way I do this count.
Okay, so that's 5 Turnpike Road?
Yep.
Is that up by the Spalding School?
Yes,
Okay.
right across the
What is
street.
it, 5?
5 Turnpike Road. It's
Yeah.
like, it's the one across from the Spalding School.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And a quick update on that. There is peer review on that's just starting now with Waves Engineering as well for the stormwater management technical peer review.
Okay.
That's in process.
I didn't hear any of that.
You don't have to.
I don't need to know. So,
The peer review is also in process for that application.
too much going on.
Yeah. When we get the peer review, then you can read it.
I don't actually. I think I might have missed putting that in your files, the rest of the notices. So my apologies. I'll have
That's
to
okay.
that later.
It's all right. Don't even bother.
Yeah. And
wait till the next batch.
Yeah, I do have one other update from 4.1 regarding 27 Scales Lane stormwater management permit. A letter has been issued to the permit holder that that they are non-compliant with the permit. So that is in the folder. That's also in the folder. That went out certified mail on January 5th.
Okay.
What property?
27 Scales Lane. The stormwater management permit was issued in 2019 by the board. I don't know if you remember, but we had a discussion at an earlier meeting about the fact that there had been no correspondence by the permit holder. So we have land use has issued a letter requiring some compliance, some reporting and applicable documents.
Has any work been executed?
Yes, yeah, there were, yeah. And there's an NOI for the project as well. So that's gone out. Okay. That's gone to the engineer and the permit holder. I'll follow up with it.
I'm going to forget to do it like that.
What?
Write your little thing,
For the site plan?
you know, but whatever for the board of selectmen.
Yeah, I know, I gotta go back.
And I'll send you something tomorrow. Because I can send it to you, right? And do I send it to Laura? It's a little write up for the report.
Yeah, thank you. I think we're in good shape on that. So I see that okay, so we're on the 23rd next, and then the 13th and 27th. The only other thing left is 4.4, which is the Massachusetts Joint Transportation Commission. And you have a meeting on January 11th?
I'll be attending that.
Yeah, okay.
As well as the CPTC has a workshop on January 12th, and it's about overlay districts. So if you guys want to register for that, it's January 12th, and it starts, I think, 6 o'clock, 6:30. I'll forward that information to you guys, because overlay districts will be a very valuable tool, I think, within
Yeah. Is that at night? Why do I think it was during the day?
Yeah, they're at night. They're designed for planning board members, and so it's very well run. This one I think is going to be taught by MIT folk. There's somebody from MIT, so they're great instruction, very informative. great updates.
So that's,
Did you say it was the 12th?
Yeah, it's the 12th, January 12th, Thursday night.
So I have a meeting that night. I have a.
I'll probably register.
yeah, let me think about it. Send me.
Okay.
Somehow, the last time I registered for a class with CP, whatever, I ended up with a PayPal account, which I don't want. And now I can't get rid of it because I don't know what the password is.
Oh, no.
I don't know how I did that. I paid the fee, and next thing I know, I get a message from PayPal saying, welcome to PayPal.
Oh.
So the other important correspondence is, of course, the town special town meeting, January 24th at 7 p.m. It was, unfortunately, we didn't have a quorum. Robert, did you want to say anything about what happened?
Nothing happened. We tried diligently. They even tried to volunteer up the Townsend Fire Department to come in, and they still were short 18 votes, so we couldn't get a quorum. And we were there till like I think it was like 10 o'clock, and there was no choice. We just had to abandon the meeting and reschedule another one.
So we would encourage everybody to come to town meeting.
Right, whether it's, special town meetings are even more important, I think, because they usually have a lot of urgent things that need to be resolved. So
you're right. Yep, that's right.
24th in the Great Hall at 7 p.m. Okay. Spread the word. Please.
Hey,
so that's January 24th?
Yep.
I got to put that in. I get too much in my calendar.
I know, January 1.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adjourn if there is no other business.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Carol Hoff says yes.
Robert Therian here.
Ian Ortiz, yes.
Thank you, Ian. And stay safe, okay? Laura Schifrin, yes.
I'll try.
Thank you all for attending.